fresh water. Might have been, you know, tangled up mess a little bit with the flood going on, but I think mostly fresh water. And I think the oceans have gradually become saltier, and some animals have actually adapted to salt water. And today we have freshwater crocodiles and saltwater crocodiles. And they probably had a common ancestor, a crocodile. He said, see, that's evolution. I said, oh, it is not. Going from a freshwater croc to a saltwater croc is a minor change compared to what you believe. So you believe they changed from a rock to a croc. That would be a major change. How many of you have ever gone into a cave and the guide said, don't touch the formations, they take millions of years to form? Sure, they got the same speech at every cave, don't they? Go to Carlsbad. Took 250 million years with tiny drops of water. They say it takes 1,000 years to grow 1 inch. I don't think so. Here are some 50-inch stalactites growing under the Lincoln Memorial. It's built in 1922. There's a bat covered up with flowstone. Didn't even have time to rot. He was preserved by stalagmites, which grow even slower. There's 2-inch stalactites growing off a refrigeration shed in Pensacola, Florida. There's a building in Indiana that was only open for 40 years, and the basement was getting full of flowstone formations in 40 years. This picture shows the inside of a cave that was shut down for 55 years in Australia. It's now full of stalagmites, stalactites, ribbons, columns. In 55 years. There's 2 people inside that circle for scale. There's a 13-inch stalactite growing off a pipe, dripping water in a building built 7 years before this picture was taken in Herbert Field near Pensacola, Florida. On the bottom was a stalagmite. They broke it off and gave it to me. 7 years. It's in my museum. In Texas, they built a place for cars to park for the University of Texas in Austin. They had to put a pan up to catch the drips because there's stalagmites growing on people's cars parking underneath them. A guy in Wyoming had a hot spring in his property. He stuck a pipe in it about 100 years ago. Water came out the pipe and ran down the sides. They called it the teepee fountain. And everybody thought, wow, that's cool. He's got a fountain in his yard. Well, as the water ran down the side, some of it evaporated, leaving behind mineral deposits. How many have seen those mineral deposits in your sink before? Okay, the guy died, and they left the pipe sticking in the yard. Here it is, 100 years later. That would take some lime away, wouldn't it? Don't tell me it takes millions of years for these formations to form. It does not. You're confused or you're lying to somebody, because it doesn't. The guy down the road put a pipe in his yard later. It's not quite as big, but still, it's pretty impressive. At the current rate of erosion, the continents are going to erode flat, be gone in 14 million years. We have landslides, mudslides, ground creep, mass wasting, exfoliation, avalanches. Does the ground ever fall up? It's always down, isn't it? Well, then why do they tell us we've got fossils that are 300 times older than that still above sea level? One atheist said, Hovind, don't you know the crust of the earth is sometimes rising, sometimes sinking? You know, you get volcanoes. Sedimentary rock? Well, no. Well, that's where fossils are found, folks. Sedimentary rock. Think about it. You can drive out west or fly out west and just look out the window of your airplane once in a while. There are erosion patterns all over this planet that are incredibly huge in places where it hardly ever rains. Grand Canyon had to be formed in a matter of a few weeks. We covered that on video 4. It did not form slowly by the Colorado River. There are ripple marks that are a mile apart. Huge ripple marks in southern Iraq. Evidence of a massive amount of water moving rapidly. A flood is the best explanation for this. Zagros Mountains. The oldest languages in the world are about 6,000 years old, less than 6,000 years old. But that fits what the Bible says. The Chinese calendar says this is the year 4703. Of course, they might have started with Noah. As far as Noah was concerned, the flood was a one-year cruise. He didn't start his life, you know. Or Shem lived 100 years before the flood. Might have started with Shem. I don't know what they started with, but they think Fuhai is the father of their civilization. Hebrew calendar said this is the year 5763. Question, why are there no historical reliable records back more than 5,000 or 6,000 years old? I wouldn't trust the Egyptian calendar. They stretch all sorts of things in the Egyptian calendar. We covered that video 7, I believe. Folks, the evidence for a young earth is overwhelming. But the students are never shown this. They're only shown the earth is billions of years old because they have to have billions of years to fit their theory. And I think there's a long, interesting reason why they're only shown one view. They're afraid the kids might come up with a philosophy like our founding fathers had. You know, belief in creation. And if folks start believing in creation like our founding fathers, they don't make good slaves. The Declaration of Independence said, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They're endowed by their Creator with certain rights. If you get a bunch of guys together who believe they have rights that come from the Creator, those guys don't make good slaves. They're going to throw the tea in the harbor and start a big war. Right? And there are some folks who would like everybody to believe in evolution because that's part of a major part of the plan toward a new world order. You have to keep the people, you know, like cows. You have to keep them kind of submissive. Cover more on that on video number 5. But 75% of kids from Christian homes that go to public schools are losing their faith in the Bible, largely because of this evolution teaching. That's exactly what happened to Crawford Toy. Most folks have never even heard of Crawford Toy. They know about the girl he almost married. Her name was Lottie Moon. She became a great missionary to China. The Southern Baptists today still have the Lottie Moon offerings every Christmas. Crawford Toy went to Europe and studied evolution. He began to believe it. He came back and told his seminary class. He was a seminary professor. He said, folks, the Bible intends to teach a plain 6-day creation. The Bible is simply an error at that point. Now listen, you seminary professors, if you're going to teach your kids the Bible's not true, why don't you quit that job and go get an honest job picking peaches or changing tires and quit destroying the faith of kids coming through your class. Yeah. Crawford thought the Bible must have an error in it. Well, Crawford, maybe your theory has an error in it, huh? Maybe you got brainwashed. Hey, folks, it's very easy to get brainwashed. I'm going to try to brainwash the whole crowd, and then we're going to quit and take a break. Maybe you've never been brainwashed before. It's a harmless procedure. I will tell you a little story. As I tell the story, I will brainwash you, or try to. If you know the answer to the questions, it's probably because you saw my seminar before. If you don't know the answer, it's because you have been successfully brainwashed. Now, here goes. Now pay attention. Here's the story. Very simple. Once upon a time, a man left home jogging. He jogged a little ways and turned left. He jogged a little ways and turned left. He jogged a little ways, turned left, and jogged back home. As he was jogging home, he noticed 2 masked men were waiting for him at home. Who were the masked men? And why did he leave home jogging? If you know for sure, raise your hand. Well, there's a few of you. Okay. The rest of you, pay attention. Let's try it again. Once upon a time, a man left home jogging. He jogged a little ways and turned left. I'll give you a hint. That's important. He jogged a little ways and turned left. He jogged a little ways, turned left, and jogged back home. As he was jogging home, he noticed 2 masked men were waiting for him at home. Who were the masked men, and why did he leave home jogging? Did anybody new figure it out? One more. Okay, the rest of you, pay attention. We're going to try this one more time. But now I'm going to unbrainwash you. See, you didn't realize it, but you got brainwashed in about the first 5 seconds. And right now you're brainwashed, but you're going to feel yourself get unbrainwashed as I tell the story again, because this time, while I tell the story, I will show you a picture. This picture will unbrainwash you. It's a cool feeling. You can feel it coming. Wow, I get it. Here goes. Now pay attention. Once upon a time, a man left home jogging. He jogged a little ways and turned left. He jogged a little ways and turned left. He jogged a little ways, turned left, and jogged back home. As he was jogging home, he noticed there were 2 masked men waiting for him at home. Who were the masked men? The catcher and the umpire. You say, Brother Hovind, is it that easy to get brainwashed? Yep. As soon as I said a man left home, you started thinking about a house. And for the rest of the story, you couldn't figure out who those guys were. You see, if you get somebody off track in the first few seconds, you got them. Would you like to see how thousands of kids get brainwashed in your county every year? Thousands of them. Here's how it works. It's so simple.